Success doesn't happen by chance, and it doesn't come easy. Every day, the winners around you are pushing themselves, striving for greatness, and refusing to settle for anything less than their best. They're not waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect conditions. They're taking action, showing up, and doing the work, no matter what. So, what does it really take to be like them? How do you push yourself every day, even when it's tough? In this audiobook, we're diving deep into the habits, mindset, and strategies that winners use to consistently move forward. If you want to level up, break through your limitations, and stop waiting for the right time, then you need to stay tuned. Let's explore what it really means to push yourself every single day and create the success you deserve. Keep watching and get ready to take action like never before. Chapter 1. Decide to push yourself every day without excuses. You have to make a decision. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel like it. Now, because the moment you decide, everything changes. The moment you say, I will push myself every single day without excuses, you separate yourself from the rest. Most people wait. They wait for the right mood, the right situation, the perfect timing. But winners, they don't wait. They act. It's easy to make excuses. Life gives you 100 reasons to slow down, to delay, to put things off until later. But if you start giving in, even once, it becomes a habit. One excuse turns into another. And before you know it, you're watching other people get ahead while you stay stuck in the same place. That's not how winners think. That's not how champions rise. You must wake up every day with a decision already made. Today, I push forward. No waiting for motivation. No waiting for someone to push you. No waiting for the right moment. The right moment is now. The people who succeed in life, the ones who reach the top, they don't get there by luck. They get there because they made a choice. A choice to push, to work, to fight through the struggles when others gave up. Look around. You will see two types of people. Those who make progress and those who make excuses. Which one do you want to be? The person who says, I could have done it if things were easier, or the person who says, I did it because I refused to quit? The difference is not talent, it's not intelligence, it's not luck, it's discipline. It's the decision to push yourself when you don't feel like it. Think about the last time you put something off. How did you feel afterward? Maybe you felt relief in the moment, but later, regret started to creep in. You knew you could have done better. You knew you should have taken action. Now, think about the last time you pushed through, even when it was hard. How did you feel then? You felt strong. You felt accomplished. That's what pushing yourself does. It builds you into the kind of person who does what needs to be done, no matter how they feel. This is not about doing something once in a while. This is about every day. That's the key, because consistency beats intensity. Anybody can work hard for one day. Anybody can put in effort when they feel like it. But what about when you don't? That's the test. Winners show up every day. They do the work whether they feel like it or not. And because they do, they get the rewards. You have to train your mind to ignore the voice that says, take it easy. That voice is the reason most people never reach their full potential. It tells them, rest today, start tomorrow. But tomorrow turns into next week turns into next year, and before they know it, they're stuck in the same place, wondering why life hasn't changed. Life hasn't changed because they haven't changed. The truth is, if you're waiting to feel ready, you'll be waiting forever. You will never feel like pushing yourself. It will always be easier to stay in your comfort zone. It will always be easier to say, I'll do it later. But what does that get you? Nothing. Nothing changes if you don't change. And if you don't push yourself, no one else will. Think about the people you admire, the ones who inspire you, the ones who have built something great. They did not get there by accident. They got there because they refused to settle. They refused to be average. They refused to let excuses control them. They made a commitment to push every day, even when it was hard, even when they were tired, even when no one was watching. So here's the question: are you willing to do the same? Are you willing to show up for yourself every day? Are you willing to do what others won't, so you can live the life others can't? Because if you are, then success is inevitable. Not overnight, not instantly, but with time, effort, and relentless discipline. Most people won't do this. They will keep making excuses. They will keep telling themselves that life is unfair, that success is only for the lucky ones, that they just don't have what it takes. But you have a choice. You can either be like them or you can be different. You can be the person who refuses to let excuses win. Start today. Push yourself today, not tomorrow. Today, do one thing that challenges you, one thing that makes you uncomfortable, one thing that forces you to grow, and then do it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next. Soon it becomes who you are. Soon you don't even think about making excuses. You just do what needs to be done. And when that happens, everything changes. Your confidence grows. Your results improve. Your life takes a different path, because success is not built in a day, but it is built daily. It's built in the moments when you choose action over comfort, discipline over laziness, progress over excuses. This is your time. This is your chance. Decide today to push yourself every day without excuses, and I promise you, the future will be different. Because when you push yourself like winners do, you become one of them. Chapter 2. Wake up with purpose and take control of your day. Every morning, you have two choices. You can wake up with purpose, ready to take control of your day, or you can let the day control you. That choice determines everything: how you think, how you act, and ultimately, where you end up in life. The people who achieve great things don't leave their mornings to chance. They don't wake up and hope for a good day. They create it. Most people start their day with no direction. They hit the snooze button, scroll through their phone, and go through the motions without a clear plan. They let distractions dictate their actions, and by the time the day is over, they wonder where the time went. They wonder why they haven't made progress, why they feel stuck, why nothing seems to change. But here's the truth. If you don't take control of your day from the moment you wake up, the world will do it for you. Winners don't let that happen. They start their day with intention. They wake up knowing exactly what needs to be done. They don't waste time. They don't leave room for distractions. They get up with energy, with focus, with a mission. And because they do, they move faster, they accomplish more, and they build momentum that carries them forward. Ask yourself this: how do you start your mornings? Do you wake up with clarity, with a goal, with a drive to push forward? Or do you drag yourself out of bed, hoping the day will somehow go well? The way you start your day is the way you live your life. If you start with purpose, you'll live with purpose. If you start with discipline, you'll build discipline. If you start with laziness, that laziness will follow you everywhere. You don't need motivation to wake up with purpose. You don't need inspiration. You need a decision. A decision that says, I will take control of my time. I will not waste this day. I will not wait for things to happen. I will make them happen. That decision is what separates those who succeed from those who never do. Your morning should not be filled with distractions. It should be filled with action. The first hour of your day sets the tone for everything that follows. If you wake up and immediately check your phone, you are starting your day, reacting instead of leading. If you hit the snooze button, you are training yourself to delay, to put things off, to make excuses. But if you wake up with energy and immediately take action, you are setting yourself up for success. Successful people know this. They don't just wake up early, they wake up with a plan. They know what their priorities are. They don't let the world decide how they will spend their time. They take control. They focus on what truly matters. The question is, are you willing to do the same? Are you willing to wake up every day with a clear mission? Are you willing to stop wasting your mornings on things that don't move you forward? Because if you don't take control of your mornings will take control of you. And once that happens, you lose control of your entire day. You need to be ruthless about how you spend the first hour of your day. That time is yours. It belongs to you. Don't waste it. Use it to build yourself. Use it to get ahead. Use it to do what others won't. While they are sleeping in, you are getting stronger. While they are wasting time, you are making progress. That's the difference. That's what gives you the edge. The key is to have a plan before you go to bed. Don't wake up and decide in the moment what you'll do. Decide the night before. Write it down. Be clear. Know exactly what your first steps will be. That way, when the alarm goes off, there is no hesitation. There is no thinking about whether you feel like getting up. You just do it. Because it's already been decided. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to get everything right. But you do have to be consistent. A great morning doesn't happen once in a while. It happens every day. The more consistent you are, the stronger you become. The stronger you become, the more control you have over your life. Think about what happens when you let the day control you. You wake up late, rush to get ready, start your work already feeling behind. By the time you get a chance to focus, the day is half gone. You spend your time reacting instead of leading. And at the end of the day, you feel exhausted but unfulfilled. That is what happens when you don't take control. But when you wake up with purpose, everything changes. You don't waste time. You don't allow distractions to take over. You start your day with a clear direction. And because you do, you move forward faster. You accomplish more. You build momentum. That's what winners do. They don't waste time. They don't make excuses. They don't wait for the perfect morning routine or the perfect moment. They create it. They take control. They build habits that push them forward instead of holding them back. So ask yourself, how are you going to wake up tomorrow? Are you going to let the day control you? Or are you going to control it? Are you going to waste another morning? Or are you going to use it to get ahead? Because the truth is, you don't have time to waste. If you don't take control now, you will look back years from today and wonder why you didn't start sooner. You will regret the time lost. But if you start now, if you take control today, your future will be different. You will wake up with energy. You will wake up with purpose. You will wake up knowing that every day you are getting stronger, better, faster. And once you do that, nothing can stop you. Because when you take control of your morning, you take control of your life. Chapter 3. Face discomfort head-on and build mental toughness. If you want to build mental toughness, you need to start facing discomfort head-on. Life will never hand you comfort on a silver platter, and anyone who tells you it will is lying to you. Discomfort is inevitable. It's part of the process. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they handle it. The ones who build mental toughness are the ones who lean into discomfort, who don't shy away from it, but rather embrace it. They understand that growth and strength come from pushing through what seems impossible. There's no magic formula to making your life easier. There's no shortcut to becoming mentally tough. The truth is that mental toughness is like a muscle. It must be developed, worked on, and nurtured. And just like a muscle, the only way to strengthen it is by pushing it past its limits. This means embracing the moments that feel difficult, uncomfortable, or painful. It's in those moments when your mental fortitude is built. When you face discomfort, your body and mind are given a choice to give in or to push through. Too many people make the mistake of choosing comfort every time. They choose the easy way out, avoiding the hard work and tough challenges. They make excuses to avoid discomfort, telling themselves that they deserve to rest, to take it easy, or that they'll work harder tomorrow. But that tomorrow never comes, and the cycle of excuses continues. People who are mentally tough understand that discomfort is the catalyst for growth. They know that when they push through the hard times, they come out stronger, sharper, and better prepared for what lies ahead. They see discomfort as an opportunity, not as a threat. They understand that nothing valuable is ever achieved without a certain degree of pain or sacrifice. You've got to make the decision today to embrace discomfort in your life. Stop running away from it. Stop seeing it as a signal that you should back off. Instead, see it as a sign that you're on the right path. When things get tough, that's when you need to double down and keep going. Because it's in those moments when you build the most strength, the most resilience, and the most character. It's time to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. This is where the real transformation happens. Every time you push past your limits, you grow. Every time you face fear, rejection, or failure, and you still move forward, you become stronger. Every time you endure a tough situation and you don't quit, you are developing your mental toughness. These are the moments that shape who you are and what you will become. Think about some of the toughest moments in your life. What did they teach you? Did you run from them or did you face them? The moments where you chose to stand tall and face discomfort are the moments that define your character. They are the moments that determine your future success. Now understand this. Mental toughness isn't about being strong all the time. It's about showing up even when you feel weak. It's about not quitting even when everything inside you tells you to stop. It's about enduring when the pain feels unbearable. That's mental toughness. And it's a choice you make every single day. It's the decision to keep going even when it's easier to quit. Every time you face discomfort, you are building the mental toughness that will carry you through the hardest of times. When you face that discomfort, you build resilience. You get stronger. You become more capable. And eventually, what once felt difficult becomes second nature. The more you do it, the more your comfort zone expands. Now think about this. What could you achieve if you faced every difficult moment with a mindset of growth instead of avoidance? What could you achieve if every time life got tough, you chose to push through instead of give up? Imagine how much further ahead you'd be. Imagine how much stronger you'd be. The power lies in your ability to face the tough moments head on. Life doesn't owe you comfort. Life doesn't owe you ease. But life does offer you one thing: the opportunity to grow. The opportunity to push through challenges and build yourself into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable. But you have to make the choice to take that opportunity. You have to choose to face discomfort, to push through the tough times, and to not back down. This doesn't mean that you need to make everything harder for yourself. It doesn't mean you should go looking for problems. But it does mean that when things get difficult, You can't shy away from it. When you encounter challenges, you need to see them for what they are, opportunities to grow. They are the tests that will strengthen your character and prepare you for the future. You can't escape them, and you don't need to. You just need to embrace them. When things get hard, that's when you need to remind yourself why you're doing this in the first place. When you feel the weight of discomfort, that's when you need to push harder. This is where you make your mark. The discomfort you feel today is the strength you will feel tomorrow. But you have to keep moving forward. So when discomfort comes knocking at your door, don't run. Open the door and welcome it in. Greet it with a smile. Say, "I'm ready. Let's go." Because every time you face it, you are getting closer to the person you want to be. Every time you push through, you are becoming mentally tougher. And that's the key to success. It's not about how many times you fall. It's about how many times you get back up. It's not about how hard the struggle is. It's about how badly you want to succeed. When you face discomfort, you show yourself and the world that you're not willing to quit, that you're not going to let anything hold you back. You're going to keep pushing. And when you do, you'll be amazed at what you're capable of achieving. No one becomes mentally tough by avoiding challenges. Mental toughness is earned through persistence, through enduring the tough times and never backing down. So face discomfort head on. Push yourself when things get tough. Keep going when others quit. Because that's how you build the mental toughness that will carry you through life's challenges. In the end, the discomfort you face today will be the strength you rely on tomorrow. So embrace it. Build it. Let it shape you into the person you were always meant to be. Chapter 4. Set clear goals and take action no matter what. Setting clear goals is the starting point of any success story. You can have all the potential in the world, but if you don't have direction, that potential will remain untapped. Without goals, your efforts are like a ship without a rudder, drifting aimlessly. It doesn't matter how much energy you put into rowing if you have no clear destination. That's why setting clear goals is so important. It gives you focus, purpose, and clarity about where you're headed. When you set a goal, you create a vision of where you want to go. That vision pulls you forward, especially when times get tough. And trust me, times will get tough. But your goals will act as a compass, keeping you on track. They remind you why you're doing what you're doing. They are the light that guides you through the darkest moments of doubt and struggle. Without goals, it's easy to get lost in the noise of life, to get distracted by things that don't matter, to get pulled off course. But having goals is only the first step. The real challenge comes in taking action, consistent, deliberate, relentless action toward those goals. Because no matter how clear your goals are, they are nothing more than wishes without action. It's not enough to sit back and dream. You have to get up, roll up your sleeves, and get to work. Every day, no excuses, no waiting for the perfect moment, no waiting until you feel ready. You start now with whatever you have, and you move forward. There's a saying, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. This applies to your goals. You can't afford to wait. Waiting for the right moment is a trap that keeps people stuck in place. The right moment is always now. The best time to take action toward your goals is not tomorrow or next week. It's today, and it doesn't matter how small the steps are. What matters is that you're taking them. Action is what turns your dreams into reality. It's the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. But action doesn't just happen. It requires a decision to do whatever it takes, to fight through obstacles, to face challenges head-on, and to keep going even when things aren't easy. Because things won't always be easy. There will be moments when you question if it's worth it. You'll face setbacks, failures, and disappointments. You'll feel tired, discouraged, and frustrated. But none of those feelings should stop you from taking action. Success doesn't come to those who think about what they want to achieve. It comes to those who work for it. It comes to those who take action, day in and day out. Action is what separates the successful from the unsuccessful. It's the difference between the person who talks about their dreams and the person who is living them. It's the difference between the person who wishes for a better life and the person who creates it. Your goals are important, but the action you take to reach them is what truly matters. So, how do you take action? First, you need a plan. Without a clear, actionable plan, your goals are just a pipe dream. A plan gives you a roadmap to follow. It breaks down your big, audacious goals into smaller, manageable steps. It helps you see the path in front of you and makes the process feel less overwhelming. With a plan, you can look at each step and think, this is what I need to do today. Then you take that step. You stay focused on the next action, not the entire journey. But having a plan isn't enough. You need discipline. You need to be consistent with your actions. You can't just take a few steps toward your goal and expect things to magically fall into place. You have to show up, day after day, with the same level of commitment and determination. Success isn't about making one big dramatic leap forward. It's about taking consistent small steps in the right direction. It's about building momentum over time so that each step builds on the last. And in those moments when you feel like quitting, when the road feels long and difficult, that's when you need to remind yourself of your goals. When you're faced with challenges, it's easy to lose sight of why you started. It's easy to get discouraged and think, maybe this isn't for me. But remember, the challenges are part of the process. They're there to help you grow, to make you stronger, and to push you to become better than you were yesterday. Your goals are the reason you're pushing through. They are the reward at the end of this journey. But the only way to get there is through consistent, relentless action. No excuses, no distractions, no giving up, just action. When you commit to taking action every day, you are training yourself to be someone who gets things done. You're building habits of success that will carry you through even the hardest of times. There will be days when you don't feel like taking action. There will be days when you're tired, when you're frustrated, when you feel like nothing is working. But on those days, it's even more important to show up. Because the person who shows up, even when they don't feel like it, is the person who wins. It's the person who doesn't let excuses stand in their way. It's the person who chooses to keep moving forward, even when the road is hard. On those tough days, you need to remind yourself that every action counts. Every step you take brings you closer to your goal. Even the smallest actions matter. When you show up and do the work, you are creating the future you want. So when you don't feel like it, when the world is telling you to quit, that's when you dig deep and keep going. Success is not a matter of talent or luck. It's a matter of consistency, determination, and the willingness to take action, no matter what. The people who succeed are the ones who refuse to quit. They don't let failure stop them. They don't let setbacks keep them down. They don't let their feelings dictate their actions. They take action, no matter what. But success isn't just about working harder. It's also about working smarter. You need to be strategic in how you approach your goals. Focus on the tasks that will move the needle forward, and don't waste time on things that don't matter. You can't afford to spread yourself too thin. Keep your eyes on the prize and stay focused on the most important actions that will bring you closer to your goals. There will always be distractions. There will always be things that try to pull you away from your goals. But you need to make the decision to stay focused. When you set clear goals, you give yourself a purpose. And when you take action, you create progress. Progress is what leads to success. So make your goals non-negotiable. Commit to them with everything you have, and take action every single day to move closer to them. And remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. You will make mistakes. You will stumble. You will face challenges. But that's part of the process. The key is not to let those moments stop you. Keep moving forward. Keep taking action. And most importantly, never lose sight of your goals. They are what will keep you on track. Even when things get tough. The journey toward your goals won't always be easy, but it will be worth it. When you take consistent action, when you keep pushing forward, when you refuse to give up, you will achieve the success you've been working for. It may take time. It may take effort, but it will be yours. So, set your goals, create a plan, and take action, no matter what. Your success is in your hands. It's all up to you. Chapter 5. Hold yourself accountable and stop waiting for motivation. If you want to succeed, you must hold yourself accountable. Success isn't about waiting for someone else to push you, cheer you on, or tell you what to do. It's about taking full responsibility for your actions, your progress, and your results. The sooner you accept this responsibility, the sooner you can start making meaningful strides toward your goals. Accountability isn't just about having someone check in on you. It's about owning your journey and not making excuses when things don't go as planned. No one else is responsible for your success, but you. It all starts with you. Too many people are waiting for motivation to show up. They think that once they feel motivated, that's when they'll start working on their goals. The truth is, motivation is a fleeting emotion. It doesn't always show up when you need it most. You can't rely on motivation to get things done. Motivation isn't the engine that drives your actions. It's the fuel that keeps you going once you've already started. You don't wait for motivation to show up. You take action whether you feel like it or not. Most people want success, but they're looking for an external force to push them toward it. They want someone to motivate them, to push them when they're feeling down, or to make them feel like they're on the right track. The problem with that thinking is that it leaves your success in the hands of others or external circumstances. It puts you in a position of waiting for that perfect moment, waiting for that feeling of motivation, waiting for someone else to show up and make things easier. But success doesn't work like that. It doesn't wait for the perfect moment. It doesn't wait for motivation. It's there for the taking, but only if you're willing to show up and do the work, no matter how you feel in the moment. Success belongs to those who hold themselves accountable, who show up every day, even when they don't feel like it. The moment you take responsibility for your actions and stop waiting for motivation is the moment you start winning. Accountability means you are in charge of your results, good or bad. If things are going well, you take credit for the hard work that got you there. If things aren't going as planned, you don't make excuses. You look at the situation and ask yourself, what can I do better? You don't blame others, you don't point fingers, and you don't let setbacks define you. You learn from them, adjust, and keep moving forward. When you hold yourself accountable, you stop looking for excuses. You stop waiting for the perfect time, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect set of circumstances. The truth is, there is no perfect time. There is only right now. The best time to take action is always today. Stop waiting for motivation to strike. Stop waiting for someone else to light the fire under you. You need to take responsibility for your own fire. You need to be the one who gets up every day and says, I'm going to do what needs to be done, regardless of how I feel. Motivation isn't a constant, and it shouldn't be. If it were, it would be too easy. Motivation works best when you've already started. It gives you the energy to keep going when things get tough. But in order for that motivation to show up, you have to start taking action. That's the key. You have to show up and do the work, even when motivation isn't there to push you forward. When you're holding yourself accountable, you take action whether you feel motivated or not. You make progress because you know that your success depends on you and no one else. In the beginning, the hardest part is taking that first step. It's easy to let fear or doubt hold you back, waiting for motivation to take control. But the truth is, you can't wait for motivation to show up, because it may never come. It's a lot easier to stay stuck in that comfortable place where nothing is required of you. But success is never built on comfort. Success is built on discipline, consistency, and action. These are the things that push you forward, even when motivation is nowhere to be found. Think about it. Successful people don't wait for motivation. They don't wait for someone to tell them what to do. They take ownership of their actions and their goals. They make a decision to take action every day, regardless of how they feel. Motivation is a nice bonus, but it's not the key to success. Discipline is. When you hold yourself accountable, you're committing to discipline. You're committing to doing what you know needs to be done, even when it's hard, even when it feels uncomfortable, and even when you don't feel like it. We all know what it's like to feel unmotivated. It happens to everyone, but the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. Successful people do the work even when they don't feel like it. They take action anyway. They don't wait for the perfect conditions. They don't wait for motivation to strike. They show up. Accountability also means taking responsibility for the little things. It's easy to say, I'll work on that later, or I'll do it tomorrow. But those little things add up. They accumulate and pile up, and before you know it, they become huge obstacles in your way. The key is to stay on top of your responsibilities. Take care of the small tasks every day, so they don't become overwhelming. Stay consistent. Stay disciplined. You don't wait for motivation to take control of your life. You take control of your life, and motivation will follow. When you hold yourself accountable, you take full ownership of your results. You don't wait for the world to give you permission to succeed. You give yourself permission. You give yourself the power to act, to move, to take charge of your future. This is what successful people do. They don't wait. They don't make excuses. They take action, no matter how they feel. When you stop waiting for motivation, you unlock a powerful force within yourself. You discover the strength to push through the hard days, to keep going even when you don't want to. You begin to build a mindset of resilience, one that will carry you through life's challenges, because you know that success isn't about how you feel on any given day. It's about what you're willing to do every day, even when it feels tough. It's about showing up when others don't. It's about doing the work, no matter how hard it seems. By holding yourself accountable, you're not just taking action, you're building a habit of responsibility, discipline, and progress. Every day you show up and take responsibility for your actions, you strengthen that habit. You make it a part of who you are. It becomes ingrained in your routine, and before long it becomes second nature. You no longer need motivation. You no longer need someone else to push you. You've built the muscle of accountability, and it's driving you forward. You don't need permission to succeed. You don't need a sudden burst of motivation. You need to commit to your goals, commit to your actions, and hold yourself accountable every day. That's the path to success. You can't afford to wait. You can't afford to make excuses. Your success is in your hands. Hold yourself accountable, and everything else will follow. Chapter 6. Make daily progress and refuse to settle for less. Progress is the cornerstone of growth, and the refusal to settle for less is what distinguishes those who achieve greatness from those who merely exist. You see, too many people are content with the bare minimum. They've gotten comfortable. They've accepted mediocrity. But comfort doesn't lead to success. It doesn't lead to progress. It leads to stagnation. If you want something more, you can't just settle for the way things are. You have to be determined to move forward, even if it's just a little bit each day. Every small step adds up, and it's this consistent effort that gets you closer to the life you want. When you make daily progress, you're building a foundation for your future. It's like constructing a building, brick by brick. Each day you lay down another brick, and while it may seem small in the moment, over time, those bricks add up. Before you know it, you've built something solid, something real. But if you stop laying bricks, if you settle for less, that building will never reach its full potential. You can't afford to stop. You can't afford to let any day go to waste. Every single day, no matter how small the progress may seem, you have to move forward. That's how you get ahead. That's how you create something meaningful. The idea of making daily progress isn't about perfection. It's not about hitting a home run every time. It's about showing up and doing the work, no matter how big or small the task. You don't need to have massive breakthroughs every day. You don't need to make huge leaps forward. But you do need to keep moving. The goal isn't perfection, it's persistence. Success isn't a one-time event. It's a series of steps taken consistently over time. And the only way to take those steps is by making progress each day. The temptation to settle is strong. We've all felt it at some point. It's easy to look around and think, this is good enough. It's easy to get comfortable and believe that you've done enough. But that's when you stop growing. That's when you stop progressing. That's when you start to plateau. And let me tell you this, plateauing is a dangerous place to be. Once you start accepting less than you're capable of, it becomes a habit. You get used to doing just enough, and you stop pushing yourself to be better. But that's not the path to greatness. Greatness isn't achieved by settling for less. It's achieved by relentlessly pursuing more, by committing to progress, no matter how challenging it may seem. Refuse to be satisfied with just good enough. You're capable of more. Your potential is limitless, but it can only be unlocked by continuously striving for something better. You don't have to be perfect every day. You don't have to do everything right. But you do have to keep moving forward. Every little bit of progress you make is a step closer to where you want to be. It's important to remember that progress doesn't always look like success. It's not always about achieving the big goal right away. Sometimes progress is about showing up when you don't feel like it. It's about doing the work when no one is watching. It's about staying disciplined even when the results aren't immediately visible. Progress is about making a promise to yourself that you won't quit. That no matter what, you'll continue to put in the effort. You'll continue to move forward, even on the days when it feels hard, even when you don't see immediate results. Every step you take, no matter how small, is an investment in your future. And those small steps build up over time. One day you'll look back and you'll see how far you've come. But none of that would be possible if you had settled for less. None of it would have happened if you had given in to the temptation to stop. You have to commit to progress every single day. You can't take days off. You can't afford to rest on your laurels. Even when you've made some progress, there's always more to be done. And here's the thing, you won't always feel motivated. Some days it's going to be tough. Some days you won't want to push yourself. But that's where the power of daily progress comes in. Even when motivation is low, discipline and consistency will keep you going. And if you make progress every day, even on the hard days, you'll find that motivation starts to build on itself. It starts to come naturally, because you've developed the habit of progress. It's the habit of showing up, no matter what. The most successful people in the world didn't get there by settling. They didn't get there by resting on their success. They got there by refusing to stop. They got there by relentlessly pursuing progress. They took small steps every day, and those small steps led to big results. They understood that success isn't a destination, it's a journey, and that journey is made up of the little things you do every day. It's about how you show up when you don't feel like it. It's about how you push yourself to be better, even when it feels uncomfortable. It's about the consistency and persistence to keep moving forward, even when you're not seeing immediate results. Every time you make a decision to move forward, to push yourself, to take action, you're choosing growth. You're choosing to become better. And the more you choose progress, the easier it becomes. Eventually it becomes second nature. Progress isn't something you have to think about. It's something you do automatically. It's part of who you are. And when progress becomes part of who you are, that's when you start seeing massive changes in your life. You might not see the big results right away, but that's okay. You're not in a race. You're not competing with anyone else. You're competing with the version of yourself that you were yesterday. Your only job is to improve, even if it's just a little bit every day. Success doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, but it's the daily progress that leads to success. It's the willingness to refuse to settle for less that makes all the difference. So don't let yourself get comfortable. Don't let yourself fall into the trap of thinking that you've done enough, because there's always more you can do. There's always another step to take, another challenge to face, and another way to grow. When you make daily progress and refuse to settle, you're committing to a lifetime of growth. You're committing to becoming the best version of yourself, no matter how long it takes. And that's the path to true success. Success isn't about taking huge leaps forward. It's about making consistent small steps toward your goal every single day. It's about refusing to stop, no matter how hard it gets. It's about making progress, even when it feels like you're not getting anywhere. And it's about holding yourself accountable for that progress, day after day. Because when you refuse to settle for less, you unlock the true power of progress. And with that power, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Chapter 7. Discipline yourself to do the hard work consistently. Discipline is the foundation of success. Without it, you'll never build anything of lasting value. It's the ability to push through when every part of you wants to give up. The strength to stay consistent when the reward seems too far away to see. Discipline is about doing the work, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Every day you have a choice. You can either choose comfort or you can choose growth. The path of least resistance will always be there, ready to pull you back into the easy and familiar. But if you want to achieve something truly meaningful, you have to learn to discipline yourself to do the hard work, even when it feels impossible. There's an old saying that success is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. It's true. The hardest part isn't coming up with the idea, it's doing the work consistently. Anyone can have a great idea, but very few people actually follow through on them. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is the ability to stay disciplined. Discipline is the act of showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it. It's about continuing to move forward, no matter how hard the journey gets. Discipline doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care if you're tired, if you're discouraged, or if you're unsure. Discipline is what keeps you going when everything inside you is telling you to quit. But discipline isn't something that just happens overnight. It's a muscle you have to develop. Just like you wouldn't expect to bench press 300 pounds without first building up your strength, you can't expect to have discipline without first practicing it. It starts with small commitments. It starts with the little things. Every time you do something difficult, every time you do something that challenges you, you're building that muscle. The more you do it, the stronger it gets, and eventually doing the hard work becomes second nature. You have to make a decision right now that you're going to show up, even on the days when you don't want to. Discipline isn't about being perfect, it's about consistency. It's about doing the right thing, even when it's hard. And let's be clear, it will be hard. If you want to accomplish anything significant, the path won't always be easy. The road will be long, the obstacles will be plenty, and the challenges will test you in ways you never thought possible. But that's exactly why discipline is so powerful. It's what gets you through the tough days. It's what makes you keep going when it feels like the world is against you. The more you discipline yourself, the more you prove to yourself that you are capable of doing hard things. The truth is, life is full of distractions. It's easy to get pulled in a million different directions. You have deadlines to meet, obligations to fulfill, and things to accomplish. But none of those things matter if you don't have discipline. Without it, you'll never stay focused long enough to achieve your goals. You'll constantly be chasing after the next shiny object, only to find that it doesn't bring you closer to where you want to be. Discipline is the skill of staying focused on what matters, of blocking out the noise and staying true to your path. It's about making the hard choices that will get you closer to your dream, even when those choices are uncomfortable. One of the biggest challenges people face when it comes to discipline is the temptation to take shortcuts. Everyone wants the easy way out. We all want the magic formula that will make our dreams come true with minimal effort. But the truth is, there are no shortcuts. Success doesn't come from taking the easy route. It comes from doing the hard work, day in and day out, even when you don't feel like it. The person who is willing to do what others won't is the one who will eventually reach the top. Discipline is what makes you push through when it seems like the reward is too far out of reach. It's what keeps you on track when the going gets tough. And it's what helps you stay motivated when others are quitting. But even when you've made the decision to discipline yourself, the real work is in keeping that commitment every single day. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. Some days you'll feel like you can conquer the world, and other days you'll struggle just to get out of bed. That's why relying on motivation alone is a mistake. Discipline doesn't depend on how you feel. It's about making a decision and sticking to it, no matter what. It's about creating habits that make the hard work easier. When you make discipline a part of your life, it becomes automatic. You don't have to think about it. You just do it. Every day that you discipline yourself, you're stacking up progress. It doesn't matter if you're tired or discouraged. As long as you're showing up and doing the work, you're moving closer to your goal. And over time, those small steps add up. The compound effect of consistent action is incredibly powerful. The more you discipline yourself, the more results you'll see. Success doesn't happen all at once. It's the accumulation of countless small actions done consistently over time. Every single day that you do the hard work, you're building the momentum you need to keep moving forward. Discipline is also what helps you develop resilience. Life is going to throw curveballs at you. There will be setbacks, challenges, and obstacles that you never saw coming. But when you've built the muscle of discipline, you know that you can handle anything. You know that no matter what happens, you'll keep pushing forward. Resilience is not something that's given to you. It's something you build by choosing to show up every day, even when it's hard. It's about embracing the discomfort and knowing that on the other side of that discomfort is growth. Discipline makes you strong. It makes you tough. It teaches you that you can handle anything life throws your way. The power of discipline is also in its ability to eliminate excuses. When you're disciplined, excuses don't have a place in your life. You stop telling yourself that you're too tired, too busy, or too overwhelmed. You stop waiting for the perfect moment because you know there is no such thing. You stop hoping that things will just work out on their own. Instead, you take ownership of your life. You take responsibility for your actions, and you show up every day to do the work. Discipline doesn't allow room for excuses. It forces you to be accountable to yourself, no matter how difficult it gets. But what about the days when you just don't feel like it? What do you do when the motivation is gone, when the energy is low, when the obstacles seem insurmountable? This is where discipline becomes your greatest ally. On those days, discipline is what makes you show up, even when every part of you wants to quit. It's what forces you to take that first step, even when it feels impossible. And once you take that first step, the momentum builds. The hard work becomes easier. You push through the resistance, and before you know it, you're back on track. Discipline is what allows you to rise above the excuses, to push through the pain, and to continue working towards your goals, no matter how difficult the road may seem. The more you discipline yourself, the stronger you become. The more you prove to yourself that you are capable of doing hard things, the more confident you become. Discipline is the key to unlocking your full potential. It's the tool that will help you turn your dreams into reality. It's what will get you through the tough times and lead you to the success you've always wanted. So when it's time to do the hard work, don't shy away. Embrace it. Know that every moment you spend in discipline is a moment you're getting closer to your goals. Stay committed, stay focused, and never stop pushing yourself to be better. Because in the end, it's not the talent or the luck that will carry you to the top. It's your ability to do the hard work consistently, day after day. That's where success begins. Chapter 8. Stay focused on growth and ignore distractions. Growth isn't something that happens by accident. It requires focus, effort, and the ability to ignore the distractions that constantly surround us. Every day, we're bombarded with countless things that try to pull us in different directions. Phones buzzing with notifications, social media pulling at our attention, the demands of other people, and the pressure to do everything at once. All of these distractions make it incredibly difficult to stay focused on what truly matters. But if you want to achieve real success, you must make the decision to stay focused on your growth and ignore everything else that stands in the way. Staying focused on growth means prioritizing the things that will move you forward and ignoring the things that will hold you back. It means tuning out the noise and keeping your eyes on the prize, no matter how tempting the distractions might be. The truth is, distractions are one of the greatest obstacles we face in our journey towards success. They come in many forms, and they often appear when we are at our most vulnerable. But if you can learn to ignore them and focus on what matters, you'll find yourself moving closer to your goals every single day. The first step in staying focused on growth is recognizing the distractions in your life. Distractions can be anything that takes your attention away from your main objective. For some, it's the constant barrage of messages, emails, and social media updates. For others, it's the pull of old habits and familiar patterns. And for many, it's the urge to be everywhere and do everything, all at once. We live in a world that thrives on multitasking, but true growth requires single tasking, focusing on one thing at a time, and giving it our full attention. The more we try to do, the less we accomplish. It's a paradox of our modern world, but once you understand it, you can take back control. To begin focusing on growth, you must make a commitment to block out the distractions. This means creating an environment where you can focus on your work without interruption. It could mean turning off your phone or putting it on silent during your most productive hours. It could mean setting boundaries with the people around you so that you have uninterrupted time to work on your goals. It might even mean saying no to certain things in your life that are pulling you away from your purpose. Every distraction you ignore is an investment in your growth. The more you protect your time, the more you'll be able to use it for what truly matters. One of the biggest challenges in focusing on growth is the constant temptation to compare yourself to others. Social media has made this even more prevalent. We scroll through feeds, seeing the highlight reels of other people's lives, and before we know it, we start measuring our success against theirs. This comparison is dangerous. It pulls us out of our own journey and makes us feel like we're not enough. But growth isn't a race. It's a personal journey, and it doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. You must stay focused on your own path and ignore the distractions of comparison. When you focus on your growth and not on the successes or failures of others, you'll be able to move at your own pace and achieve your own goals. Another form of distraction is the fear of failure. This fear is paralyzing for many people. They're so afraid of making a mistake or falling short that they never take any action at all. But fear is one of the greatest distractions you'll ever face. It will keep you stuck in place, afraid to make a move. The key to overcoming fear is not to let it control you. Instead of fearing failure, embrace it. Understand that failure is simply part of the learning process. Every time you fail, you grow. Every time you try and fall short, you learn valuable lessons that will help you succeed the next time. When you can shift your perspective on failure, you take away its power over you, and you can stay focused on your growth rather than your fears. Growth also requires you to develop a mindset of patience. We live in a society that wants everything now. Instant gratification is at our fingertips, and we're conditioned to expect quick results. But real growth takes time. It takes consistent effort, long hours, and perseverance. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see immediate results. But remember that the greatest achievements often come from the smallest, most consistent actions. If you can learn to be patient with yourself and trust in the process, you'll find that the journey becomes much more enjoyable. Staying focused on growth means knowing that the results will come when you stay committed, even if they don't appear overnight. Another way to stay focused on growth is to surround yourself with the right people. The people you spend the most time with have a significant impact on your mindset and your ability to grow. If you're surrounded by people who are constantly complaining, making excuses, or distracting you from your goals, it will be incredibly difficult to stay focused. But when you surround yourself with people who inspire you, challenge you, and support your growth, you're more likely to stay on track. Seek out relationships that encourage your growth, and distance yourself from those that hold you back. The right support system can make all the difference in staying focused on what matters. As you move forward in your growth journey, remember that there will always be distractions trying to pull you away from your purpose. But each time you ignore the distractions and stay focused, you get closer to your goal. The key is consistency. It's not about having one perfect day or making one perfect decision. It's about making small, consistent choices every day that move you forward. It's about choosing to put in the work, day in and day out, even when you're tired, discouraged, or tempted to give up. The more you stay focused on growth, the more your progress will compound. Each small step forward will create momentum, and before you know it, you'll be further along than you ever imagined. The power of focus is in its ability to create clarity. When you focus on what truly matters, the distractions begin to fade away. Your mind becomes clear, your actions become purposeful, and you begin to move toward your goals with intention. You start to see progress in ways you didn't before, and you develop the confidence that comes with knowing you're on the right path. Growth becomes less of a struggle and more of a natural progression, as long as you stay committed to the process and remain undistracted by the noise around you. Lastly, remember that distractions are inevitable. They'll never completely disappear, but the key is in how you respond to them. Every time you choose growth over distraction, you strengthen your ability to focus and build momentum toward your goals. Growth requires intention, effort, and a commitment to ignoring the things that don't matter. By choosing to stay focused, you'll not only reach your goals but surpass them, building a life that reflects your true potential. Keep your eyes on the prize, shut out the distractions, and keep moving forward. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is the power of your focus. Chapter 9. Develop strong habits and stick to them daily. To build a life of success and achievement, the foundation must be laid with strong, consistent habits. It's not enough to have an occasional burst of effort or motivation. The true transformation happens when you adopt daily habits that align with your goals and values. These habits, when practiced consistently, compound over time to bring you closer to your greatest potential. But habits, unlike fleeting bursts of willpower, require intention, discipline, and commitment. They need to be established, reinforced, and stuck to no matter the circumstances. The power of habits cannot be underestimated. They shape everything in your life: your health, your mindset, your relationships, your career, and your overall sense of fulfillment. Habits are not just actions, they are the unconscious behaviors that govern your day-to-day life. If you want to change your life, you must first change the small actions you take every day. But it's not about trying to overhaul everything at once. The most powerful habits are built one day at a time, one small action at a time, until they become second nature. When we talk about strong habits, we're talking about actions that become ingrained in your routine. The most effective habits are those that are simple, sustainable, and aligned with your long-term vision. These are the habits that don't feel like an effort after a while. They become automatic, part of who you are. If you want to develop habits that stick, it's crucial to start small, make them non-negotiable, and focus on consistency over perfection. Let's start by looking at how habits are formed. Understanding the science behind habit formation can help you in the process. Habits are formed through repetition. Every time you repeat an action, your brain strengthens the neural connections that make that action easier to perform. Over time, what once required conscious effort becomes automatic. But it's important to remember that habits take time to form. They don't happen overnight. On average, it takes 21 days to form a habit, but for some habits, it can take longer. The key is consistency. As long as you stay committed, you will start to notice the shift. One of the most important things when developing strong habits is making them simple. If you create habits that are too complex or require too much effort, you'll quickly become overwhelmed and lose motivation. Start small. It could be as simple as waking up 10 minutes earlier every day to meditate, or committing to a 15-minute workout in the morning. Small changes, when repeated consistently, can lead to massive transformations. As you build on these small habits, they will naturally evolve into more significant changes over time. Another crucial element is to make your habits non-negotiable. It's easy to let things slide, especially when life gets busy or motivation wanes. But the most successful people make their habits a priority, no matter what. When you commit to a habit, you must decide that it will not be optional. If you're someone who struggles with sticking to your routines, it's helpful to start with habits that are easy to incorporate into your life and gradually build from there. The key is never to make excuses for why you can't do it. Make the habit so ingrained that it becomes an automatic part of your day. The environment in which you live also plays a massive role in your ability to stick to strong habits. If your environment is full of distractions or temptations, it will be much harder to stay committed to the things that matter. Therefore, you must optimize your environment to support your habits. For example, if you're trying to build a habit of reading every day, make sure you have books readily available and that you have a dedicated, quiet space to read. If you're working on building a fitness habit, make sure your workout clothes and equipment are easily accessible. The easier you make it for yourself to perform the habit, the more likely you are to stick to it. One thing to keep in mind as you work on developing strong habits is that there will be setbacks. Life doesn't always go as planned, and sometimes things will get in the way of your routine. That's okay. What matters most is how you respond when things don't go according to plan. If you skip a day or make a mistake, don't use it as an excuse to quit. The key is to get back on track as quickly as possible. One day off doesn't undo all the progress you've made. In fact, it's a part of the process. The most successful people are those who fail, learn from their mistakes, and continue forward with even more determination. The difference between success and failure isn't how many times you fall, it's about how many times you rise. In addition to setbacks, you'll also face days when motivation is low. Motivation is unreliable, it comes and goes. But what you have in your favor is discipline. Discipline is what keeps you going when motivation fades. It's the commitment to doing the right thing, even when you don't feel like it. This is why creating strong habits is so essential. When the habit is established, it doesn't require motivation to do it. It's just what you do, day in and day out. Discipline is the muscle you develop through consistent action. The more you rely on your discipline, the easier it becomes to stick to your habits, even on the tough days. Another important aspect of sticking to habits is tracking your progress. When you track your habits, you're not only holding yourself accountable, but you're also able to see how far you've come. Tracking allows you to visualize your progress and stay motivated. It can also highlight patterns and areas where you may need to make adjustments. Whether you track your habits in a journal, on a calendar, or through a habit tracking app, find a system that works for you. The act of recording your progress is an important step in reinforcing the habit and helping you stay committed. When you build strong habits, you're not just changing your actions, you're changing your identity. You are no longer the person who struggles to wake up early or procrastinates. You are someone who takes action, shows up every day, and builds a life of consistency. As your habits strengthen, so will your confidence. You will begin to see that you are capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. Strong habits transform who you are and how you show up in the world. They give you the foundation to tackle bigger challenges and reach new heights. But habits alone aren't enough if they're not aligned with your long-term goals. You must be intentional about the habits you develop. Make sure they support the vision you have for your life. If your goal is to get fit, your habits should revolve around physical activity and healthy eating. If your goal is to write a book, your habits should include setting aside time to write every day. The more aligned your habits are with your larger goals, the more purposeful your actions will be. You must also be patient with yourself. Habits take time to form, and results take time to show. There may be days when you don't see immediate progress, but that doesn't mean your efforts aren't adding up. Trust the process. Trust that each small step you take is bringing you closer to the person you want to become and the life you want to live. When you stick to your habits consistently, the results will follow. In conclusion, developing strong habits is the key to long-term success. It's not about relying on motivation or willpower. It's about making small, consistent actions that align with your values and goals. Over time, these habits compound and create massive change in your life. The more you build your habits, the stronger they become. And the stronger your habits are, the more successful you'll be in every area of your life. Start today and make your habits a priority. Stay consistent, stay disciplined, and you will build the life you desire. Chapter 10. Surround yourself with winners and raise your standards. The people you surround yourself with have an immense impact on who you become. Your friends, mentors, and colleagues shape your mindset, your beliefs, and your behavior. The energy and attitudes of the people in your circle influence how you think, how you act, and ultimately the results you achieve. That's why it's so crucial to be intentional about who you allow into your life. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, challenge you, and push you to be better. When you're around winners, you can't help but rise to the occasion. Success doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's not just about the hard work you put in on your own. It's about the collective energy of the people around you. The winners you choose to spend time with will elevate you, make you think bigger, and help you break free from limiting beliefs that may be holding you back. But this doesn't just happen by chance. You have to be proactive in seeking out the right people. You can't wait for them to come to you. You need to raise your standards and demand more from yourself and your inner circle. Winning isn't just about achieving a goal or hitting a milestone. It's about having the right mindset, adopting the habits of high achievers, and surrounding yourself with individuals who share that drive. When you raise your standards, you're telling yourself that you deserve greatness, and you're ready to put in the work to make it happen. But this process begins by raising the standards of the people you allow in your life. When you surround yourself with winners, you gain access to a wealth of knowledge, experience, and perspective. You learn from their successes and mistakes. You see the strategies they use, the mindset they've cultivated, and the habits they've adopted. More importantly, you get to witness their resilience in the face of failure. Winners don't back down when faced with obstacles. They use those obstacles as stepping stones to greater heights. Being around these individuals gives you a front row seat to their journey and the lessons they've learned along the way. This isn't to say that you should abandon your current relationships or distance yourself from people who have been a part of your life for years. What it means is that you must consciously evaluate the energy in your life. Are the people around you helping you grow? Are they inspiring you to become the best version of yourself? Or are they dragging you down, limiting your potential, and feeding you negativity? The people you associate with play a significant role in shaping your mindset. If you're constantly surrounded by people who have a victim mentality or who are quick to make excuses, it will be harder for you to develop a winner's mindset. Negative energy is contagious, and it can slowly erode your self-belief and confidence. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with positive, driven individuals, you'll find that their energy lifts you up. You'll begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles, and you'll start to believe in your ability to achieve more. Raising your standards is about more than just the people you surround yourself with. It's about elevating every aspect of your life. It's about setting higher expectations for your career, your health, your relationships, and your personal growth. When you raise your standards, you're telling yourself that you won't settle for mediocrity. You won't settle for a life of complacency or comfort. Instead, you'll demand excellence from yourself in everything you do. One of the first steps in raising your standards is to get clear on what you want. What do you want your life to look like in 5 years? What kind of person do you want to be? What kind of impact do you want to make? The clearer you are on your vision, the higher your standards will naturally become. When you know what you want and why you want it, you'll no longer accept anything less than the best. Your standards will act as a filter, helping you make decisions that align with your goals and values. As you raise your standards, you'll start to demand more from yourself. This means doing the things that others are unwilling to do. It means putting in the extra hours, staying focused even when distractions arise, and pushing through the discomfort that comes with growth. It means holding yourself accountable even when no one else is watching. Winners don't make excuses, they take ownership of their actions and their results. At the same time, you'll begin to notice the people around you either step up to match your new standards or fall away. This is a natural part of the process. Not everyone will be able to keep up with your growth, and that's okay. Your circle will naturally begin to shift. Some people will be inspired by your transformation and rise to meet you where you are, while others may fall behind or distance themselves altogether. Don't take it personally. Understand that as you elevate your life, you're creating space for the right people to enter. Raising your standards also means becoming more disciplined in your approach to your goals. Discipline is the backbone of success. It's easy to get excited about a new goal, but what sets winners apart is their ability to stay disciplined day in and day out, even when the initial excitement fades. Discipline means doing the work even when you don't feel like it. It means sticking to your routine, staying committed to your habits, and showing up even when the results aren't immediate. When you surround yourself with winners, discipline becomes contagious. You'll see how they prioritize their time, how they stay focused on their goals, and how they handle setbacks with grace and perseverance. Winners understand that success is not a sprint, it's a marathon. They know that the real work happens behind the scenes, during the quiet, consistent actions that others overlook. And because you've chosen to surround yourself with this energy, you'll adopt those same habits and attitudes. Another important aspect of raising your standards is to be willing to invest in yourself. Winners don't hesitate to invest time, money, or energy into their growth. Whether it's attending seminars, hiring a coach, or reading books, they understand that the best investment they can make is in their own development. The more you invest in yourself, The more you raise your standards, you're telling yourself that you believe in your potential and are willing to put in the effort to unlock it. This mindset shift is crucial because it sets the tone for the rest of your life. As you raise your standards, you'll also become more aware of the environments you put yourself in. High achievers know the importance of creating an environment that supports their growth. Whether it's your physical environment, your social environment, or your digital environment, everything you expose yourself to influences your mindset. You must curate your environment to align with your goals and values. This might mean decluttering your space, unfollowing social media accounts that drain your energy, or seeking out communities that foster growth and support. It's not always easy to raise your standards, especially if you've been operating at a lower level for a long time. But the more you practice it, the easier it becomes. Surrounding yourself with winners is a game changer because it forces you to level up. You can't stay stagnant when you're constantly in the presence of people who are challenging themselves and achieving more. Their success becomes your motivation, and their growth becomes your blueprint. Remember that surrounding yourself with winners isn't just about success in a material sense. It's about being around people who inspire you to become the best version of yourself. Winners are those who invest in themselves, who push their limits, and who constantly strive for more. When you choose to surround yourself with such individuals, you'll start to adopt those same qualities, and you'll raise your own standards. Your life will never change if you stay surrounded by mediocrity. It's time to elevate your expectations, demand more from yourself, and seek out those who will inspire you to reach new heights. The moment you raise your standards, everything shifts. Your actions, your mindset, and your results all begin to align with your highest vision. Don't settle for less. Surround yourself with winners and watch your life transform into something extraordinary.